So what else can I tell you, Sheldon? All I can say to you...
I want you to talk a little bit about at times... I remember going out on the... I'm going to tell you some things, some memories I have. The time we spent together. I remember living a year in Brooklyn. And I remember going on the route with you. I remember working with my father, too.
Did you?
In the store. Yeah, I went on the route with you.
You mean in the Goodman?
Yeah.
The Goodman products?
Yeah, I remember going on the route.
Well, when I was 19 years old, I joined Local 338. I organized 500 some odd people in my area. I was chairman of the section there. When AFL broke with the CIO, John L. Lewis, we went to the first international convention. I had one of my friends that became the president of the international, CIO International. He became the president. I had a lot of friends in the union there, and I could have been a business agent, no problem. But I couldn't go along the way things were running in the labor movement. I felt I couldn't sell my labor man. I was asked once, I pulled a strike on Albany Avenue, 7 people. And I got a telephone call. I do not want to mention a name. He was a Supreme Court judge. He was our lawyer. As a matter of fact, that particular office had 2 Supreme Court judges. And I was asked to take it off because this particular attorney had a friend of an attorney that represented a particular store. And this Samuel Walchuk was the president of the union. And he asked me as a favor that our attorney wants we should put the people back to work for no increase. So I'll never forget, I said, Mr. Walchuk, Sam, I called him Sam. I said, Sam, you come down here, you put them back to work, because I wouldn't be able to face these people. If I pulled them out to get an increase, all I want, Sam, is Mr. Hoffman, I'll never forget, all I want them to give is $2 a piece. As much as I ask for $10 a piece, but give me something. I didn't want to become a loser. Mm-hmm. And since that time, he couldn't see me as a labor leader for one reason, that I didn't go their way. And I ran against, in that local, I ran for an executive board member. And I lost by 2 votes. But later on in life, as I retired, and I think I told you, Sheldon, Sam Walchuk represented 1.5 million people in the United States, the Retail Wholesale Food Employees Union, all the retails, chain stores, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, you name it. I could have had my own local. It's my brother that stood in the way.
Jack has a lot of nerve, you know. He was once, excuse me, interrupting you. He was once in the union, I needed a favor or something. So he walked in the union, and he was mad. He says, "What did you have to do for me?" You know, just like this, you know, with a loud voice. You know, he said to the president, you know, and that wasn't Volchek, it was Sam Kosh.
No, it was
Sam Kosh.
Maury Kuddish.
Oh, it was Sam Kosh.
Sam Koch, no, it's Maury Kuddish.
No, he really opened up. So the minister said, "You talked like this when you talked to the president like this. What's the matter with you?" But he gave us real loud. He wasn't afraid.
Look, as a matter of fact, many friends of mine who became labor leaders, big labor leaders, I know they were takers. I never touched a dollar. I never sold out a person in my life. I was rough, but never because there's one thing with my mind. I am representing a laborer, a worker. As a matter of fact, you must listen to this. I worked on 375 Kingston Ave, and I was the shop steward. And I went into a small fruit store. He did not want to be organized. So I send him one of the union men, and I tell him, look, you work for whatever money he gives you. It was on Kingston Avenue. And I'll come in later. I'll organize you. And a few weeks later, he works there a week or so. I walk into that store and I speak to the boss. I asked him that, we want to organize. What kind of organizer? He says, look, I don't want no unions. So I told him, look, if you don't, I says, I'm going to take the man out, I'm going to put a picket line. He says, do whatever you want. So I take him out and I put a picket line. During the day, while I was working behind the counter, a young man comes in, who's Jack Zura? In Kingston Avenue, Mr. Siegel was my boss.
I worked there in that store for a while.
Who's Jack Zura? I says, I am. He says, come over here. That was Saturday night. Come over here. I want to talk to you. He says, wait until I finish. You never heard such cursing in your life. I did not know he was an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
He says, why have you got to pick a line in my father's store? I says, because he don't want to suck. He says, I want you to take it right off. Well, Sheldon, he used foul language. And I stretched that man out. I hit him so hard. He was out. And we picked him up, put a hat, his hat was open. And he ran out of the store, and he ran into his father, and he says, do whatever you want, goddamn, get this goddamn thing settled, it's up to you. And instead of asking for $3, now I got $5. You see, these little things, I had hundreds of them, Sheldon.